We've managed to step out of the rain for the time being. I'm here with international course designer Bob Ellis, who's certainly had his work cut out today. Conditions like this, does it affect? I mean, I heard you talk about the jump off. You made one of the spreads. It was a smaller spread because of the conditions. How much do you have to take that into consideration?
Well, we did. Each of the spread fences that we had in the jump off, I pulled the spread on them because they were struggling to get the width of the fences because it got really, really deep in the end. I mean, who expected this weather?
And yeah, we certainly did.
The riders are actually blaming me because everywhere I've been in the world this year, it's rained, even in the middle of the desert in Saudi Arabia.
So you're bringing it with you?
Yeah, El Nino.
South of England. And in terms of also, it's an international course, it's an international track that you're trying to prepare the British riders when they're competing abroad. How does that affect the type of course and the way you build a course?
Well, you put more technicalities into it. It's slightly bigger. You're trying to get them to do sort of 4-star Nations Cup shows, really. If I'd have known what the weather was going to do throughout the class, I maybe wouldn't have built it quite so technical and quite so strong. As it happened, the horses that go in the wet jumped it really well. But as I say, I didn't expect the sort of weather we had during the competition.
What would you say are the key differences between an international track, the tracks you see abroad, and maybe the slightly smaller tracks?
Probably the technicalities of it, distance problems, getting the riders to lengthen and shorten the horses towards fences. More width. You normally get more width at the international shows than what we jump nationally. In general, the sort of fences that you build on the continent or in the Americas, the fence is normally a little bit more delicate.
Okay.
So you've got your problems with the distances, you've got more width, and the fences don't take too much knocking down, really.
Is it quite a challenge, because this is very much for young riders to help them progress through the senior ranks? Is it quite a challenge creating a course that's encouraging for them, but also challenging? Yeah,
you don't want to put the guys off. You're testing their riding ability and what they can do with the horses. You don't want casualties. You're trying to encourage them to get them used to what they would find at an international show abroad.
And you talked about the technicalities. There was quite a few people had the last fence down, and a couple of riders were saying they struggled with that distance there. Is that one of the sort of challenges you give for the riders?
Believe it or not, that was probably one of the easiest because they had a lot of time after the water jump to prepare for it. But sometimes when you do that, they're not sure whether they're going on that stride or this stride.
I think it was 6 or 7, wasn't it? And it was slightly down the hill.
It was running downhill. The fence was quite delicate. It didn't take a lot of knocking off. A little rub and it came down. So I think that I'd open them up over the water, so they were going a little bit flat anyway, running downhill. So the horses were on their heads a little bit coming down to it, and it was quite a big fence anyway.
And does that sometimes happen? You design a course, and obviously you must have an idea of how the horse is going to ride it, and on the days it sometimes come off quite different?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I didn't think it would ride easy. I thought it was going to be tough. Certainly the earlier riders in there, I don't know whether the riders could see.
Yeah, the weather was
horrendous. So yeah, I mean, sometimes you build a course, you think, well, this will ride fine, and they'll do 6 strides down to that fence, and then when you get there, if they can't get there on 6, it's a 7.
Yeah.
So that does happen. More on grass than on a surface.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Because the footing is obviously so much different.